Hi, this is Kami with JLT Performance, and today we have our intake kit for the CT5-V Blackwing out on the table. We have two different tubes that come with this intake. So we provide both tubes. We provide 3 couplers, and I'll explain why. But the intake has a massive reusable oil filter. This is our 4-inch intake kit that's designed to work with the stock MAF calibration. So you simply just reinstall the MAF sensor. This is going to work with no tuning necessary. The coupler is just going to connect right to the OEM throttle body. We eliminate the pancake tube found right before the throttle body. You can see the OEM one just completely sandwiches there, kills your airflow. We're able to eliminate that with our tube. You can see we just have a very small cut for that fan shroud. But an awesome intake tube and kit if you're running the stock calibration. If you want to step it up and get a tune, this is a 5-inch intake, so this requires a custom tune, but it is an absolutely massive intake tube, just dwarfs the OEM one. And then we have 2 different couplers that can work with the 5-inch. If you want to go to the stock throttle body, this one's included, but if you want to go to a bigger throttle body, like a 103, you can install this throttle body, or this coupler. But an absolutely awesome kit. We're going to get into the install and let us know if you have any questions. So we're going to get right into the install. First step we're going to do is just grab this quick connect, pop the quick connect off. Then we're going to get our rivet tool and pop that off there. Then we're going to find our hose clamp on the throttle body with the 7mm. And shake that off the throttle body there. Then we're going to switch over to our 10mm and remove the bolt holding the intake to the body. And we have a couple more little push rivets we can move right here, holding these hoses to the box. Okay. Now we're going to slide the lock out on the MAF. So it's just that red locking tab scoots back. Then right behind that red locking tab, there's a little button. Depress the button and wiggle it off. Oh, there we go. I didn't have it all the way unlocked. So now that we have everything free, we'll get the intake kit removed. And there's a couple more little push rivets on the back side of the box. Now with that, the intake kit is free to be removed from the vehicle. I'm gonna get these wires and hoses out of the way. The intake's connected to the front scoop right there, but simply pull back and up. Now we're gonna set the intake kit on the table. Today we're going with our intake kit for a stock tune, so we'll set our 5-inch intake kit as well as 2 couplers that we're not gonna use aside. And now we're going to get the MAF transferred over to the stock intake tube. Remove the OEM MAF sensor with the Torx. And what we're going to do with these screws is we're going to reinstall them back into the intake tube so they don't get misplaced. All right, now we're going to take the JLT MAF gasket and MAF pad. So you can see this is the way the sensor is going to go in. It's the only way for it to line up to the bolts. and we're going to match this cut to the little cut on the sensor. So sorry, first it goes gasket, or first it goes pad, then it goes gasket. Then we're going to install it into the intake tube. And there's only one way to install it, so you can't mess it up. Now we're going to take the included bracket and and washer and bolt, and we're going to get them installed into these inserts on the intake box. So we can get these in by hand, then tighten them up with an 11 mil. And then now we're going to take the included tube seal and get it installed into the airbox. You'll kind of hear it snap in. Just like that. Now we're going to take the airbox and we're going to get this installed into the vehicle. So this bracket's going to line up with right here on the body. Then we can put our hand in here to make sure the seal gets pushed through the JLT airbox. So the trick to getting the airbox installed is first getting the scoop pushed in. So you kind of got to wiggle it around. You can see it starting to push through. Then we'll make sure the airbox is fully seated into that grommet below. So the airbox is fully in place now. Then now we'll get our bolt installed right here. So we're going to reuse the OEM bolt. So now we're going to reinstall this OEM bolt with a 10 mil. And so now on the airbox there's one hole for these Christmas trees. So what we're going to do is zip tie the two together. Oh, wrong way. Then we'll use one of these Christmas trees to install it into the box. And then on the back side, we will do the same. Now we're going to install the CT5-V fitting. So this is a plastic NPT fitting, and it's plastic into aluminum. And I just install these as tight as I can by hand. And the threads obviously won't go all the way in because it's NPT. So we get it super tight. Now we're all set, and we'll grab our coupler and hose clamps. So we'll get these all set up to go into the vehicle. Yeah, so those couplers aren't the real one. So now we're going to install the filter into the airbox, then the tube onto the throttle body, and the tube into the airbox. So the tube will stop on that bead, and we can get it turned and slipped onto the throttle body. So now that when you have the coupler on both the throttle body as well as the tube, we can get this tightened up and take our quick connect, get it reinstalled. And now we'll go over here and get the filter installed onto the intake tube. Just got it. Then before we actually get it on the tube, we're going to rotate the hose clamp. And it looks like we'll need to loosen up the hose clamp. So the filter slides right onto the intake tube. Then we'll slide the hose clamp that way and get it installed with a 5/16 nut driver. Now the last step is just going to be to reinstall the MAP sensor. We'll make sure to get that red locking tab in the lock position. And that's the installation of the intake kit for the CT5-V Blackwing. Let us know if you have any questions.